Is it you flexing for other guys?
True! A lot of it is just flexing for other guys.
Who are you becoming high value for? Other dudes on the internet? Do you think it's that hard to see who a hoe is?
Bro, come on. Really?
I like how he has no response to that. Like, it's not really that hard. Like, how many, you would never hear this from a conservative man. Like, yes, it was necessary for me to fuck many bitches for me to figure out which one was truly the loyal woman I was gonna make my wife. Like, nobody says this.
Why are you so frustrated, man? You seem really
I just have, like, these women are plentiful. They exist and they're out there.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of the Redpill stuff is too doomer about how women are. And they called, like, the guy Rolo, like, the godfather of the Redpill. And he's just saying avoid family creation as one of the 3 steps to become a high value man. That just made me realize, what is our idea of a high value man? Like,
did you see Sneako pushing back on Fresh and Fit?
I realized today, and like while traveling the world, that I probably agree with women's idea of a high value man more than the Red Pill space's idea of a high value man.
Oh no. Uh-oh.
How dare you?
I think women, did you see how all of them, none of them brought up finances really? None of them brought up like the way you look. None of them talked about like what you wear. And all of it is about character. It's
Sneako
about
took the TradCon pill, bro.
Oh shit, Sneako going the trad route.
Bro.
Yeah,
it's about your personality.
It's important to run. It's important TradCon pill, bro.
No, look, it's important to have wealth and it's important to have status in mind. But that's what this space is kind of avoiding a lot of the time, is that that's an extremely important part of becoming high value. And if we actually want to raise a family, that's an extremely important part of male self-improvement.
Sneako, her man has these traits now. Why is she with him?
Did you say that?
What?
Your man has those traits?
Yes, he's not my man, but I think he's working towards it. That's why we're not together, because I don't
He's
want
working toward. He's not there yet. They're in high school.
No.
She just said
It's a high school relationship. That's not a good comparison.
No, but that's what I'm trying to say, bro. Like,
Wait, is that a high school girl?
the thing is that girls are gonna say things that are politically correct, and it sounds good. Like, oh, notice how she said a guy who has his finances in order, and then what did she say? Doesn't spend his money stupidly. That's having your finances. Like, I don't really care about finances, but like have their finance order, but not really. But like, just don't spend money stupidly.
On her
so
and
it's
the
like,
kids.
Like, I get it. Like, the girls are on a podcast, they don't want to make themselves look like bad or whatever. But dude, I mean, let's just keep it 1,000. I always say it. All women are gold diggers. Some are just better at hiding the shovel. They hide it up with words like passion or ambition or drive, goals. Like, hey man, look man, you got that TradCon pill, bro. Like, because
so what's the alternative? Getting a like, are we advocating towards getting a surgery which prevents you from having children? That's not even to compare that to birth control is insane. That surgery is not meant to be reversed. It's meant to be permanent. You didn't say like put on a condom or like be absent for a little bit. The Red Pill ideology is literally avoid family creation and get a surgery.
Sneako.
And you didn't even say no to that. You're like, well, maybe.
Oh, he's pushing back on that insane Rolo tweet that apparently went like, I don't know what you guys are cuxing on. Is it everybody or somebody? Because I see 0 frames dropped on my end. So is it actually, or is it just some people in chat are getting f***ed, or what?
The battle for Sneako's soul was always going to be a long, drawn-out fight.
Okay, if you're getting internet or laggy issues, then it's got to be like a YouTube server thing or something, if it's not everybody.
To understand context. What is the context? The context.
How to become a high-value man from the Red Pill Godfather.
Yes, but
the
when you're
fastest way, the quickest way to do it. That's important, dude. He said the quickest way to do it. Avoid family creation, focus on making money, go to the gym,
get a vasectomy,
all the self-improvement stuff. Because a lot of guys, remember, dude, the average guy doesn't have much dick discipline. They'll get a girl pregnant when they're 18, 19, 20, 21. So if you got a vasectomy, what does it do? It makes it retard-proof. He's giving advice for the lowest common denominator. Quickest way to be a high-value guy for the lowest common denominator. That's the advice, dude. A lot of people don't, like, will sit there. How many guys do you know that could have been stars that got a girl pregnant in high school?
Now, once again, context. This is not geared towards family. It's geared towards becoming successful in a high-value light.
So who is the high-value man? Who qualifies that? Because all the women in here, they just said, is it you flexing for other guys? Who's qualifying? Like,
True! Car shit, gym shit, finance shit. A lot of it is just flexing for other guys. It really is.
Who are you becoming high value for? Other dudes on the internet?
So ultimately, when you're done with that list, so to speak, and you're successful, you now are seen as a prize to women. So for example, yes, you could have a good personality, have good energy, good vibe. That's cool. But long term, becoming successful is going to be the key factor for most people. So he's just saying to get there faster, through these steps. Now, ultimately, like I said before, family-wise is not, I want to say, the best
And
way.
here's the other thing too, bro.
Less than 3.
I don't mean to call any of these ladies out, but they said a bunch of bullshit. They don't even care about any of these things unless they're attracted to you first. There's plenty of there's
what makes you attractive, though?
Well, hold on. But you're not gonna give a fuck about his personality or being genuine or his integrity if he's not handsome enough or if he doesn't qualify.
But I wasn't
Like,
talking about what they're
Genociding
attracted to. It's their
Eurocuts feels
idea
weird
of a
man
high-value
feels weird
man.
man
But
feels
so
weird
then,
man.
what's more important?
But they're not gonna give that guy a chance unless he meets certain prerequisites. Girls,
That's nobody gives anybody a chance till they meet certain prerequisites, right? That's true of everybody. That's true of guys and girls.
I want to be unbanned.
You're not going to give a girl a chance if she weighs 700 pounds, right? This is everybody's going to have like a minimum threshold for.
always assume attraction when you ask them.
I feel like you're assuming that.
I'm assuming what?
That somebody.
My
I feel
internet
like
might
there's
be
a
gutsy,
lot
but
of
at least I don't
girls
go.
Who you could use the word settle. You know, if it fits
so
their
you'll
box.
accept integrity, passion, loyalty, and honesty. A homeless guy can give you that.
I mean, I think
What?
there's
No, he probably can't. Wait, what?
a lot of girls. I think you're exaggerating the situation, but I think there are a lot of girls.
It's not that.
would.
What I'm saying is that women give surface level answers that a multitude of men can actually give them, but the problem is that they only want it from a minority of men. Because girls, right? Because a lot of these things you guys mentioned, dude, you know how many guys can give you guys this, but y'all ain't picking them.
So
Come
many.
on, man, let's operate in reality here.
Where
The
are
dude, he doesn't even get to show you these traits unless he's attractive first. That's my point.
Right.
So what I'm trying to say is that girls give surface level bullshit that a bunch of guys can get to them, but they're not attractive enough, so they don't care that these guys have these traits. So being high value, bro, it's like they only care about these traits and consider high value for when it's from the right guy.
Right, but let's not just talk about when it comes to being attractive. What's more important, being successful or having a family?
Having a family.
Having a family.
What do you guys think?
Successful.
Wait,
So,
for the man or for the
It
woman?
seems like the red pill ideology is that being successful is more important. It's not about attracting a woman. Like, what's more important for a man? What should a man's priority be? Having a family or being successful?
being successful first every single time, because then you have the ability to choose. But if
Not
you're
anymore.
successful-
Not if you get the vasectomy, then
Well,
you can't have the
You
family.
can, dude, you can undo a vasectomy. Like,
Okay, hold on. Vasectomies are not supposed to be undone. It is possible, but that's not meant to be an undone surgery. It's supposed to be a one and done. And the longer you wait after you have it, the lower the chance you have of reversing it. Use a condom. Why the would you get a fucking vasectomy? I might just cut it and go to Rumble, I guess, if everybody's just cuxing always. I don't think this changes your legs, just buffering off. Then go watch on Rumble. I don't know why then move to Rumble. I don't know why you're still on YouTube then. The vasectomy is not a 100% chance to reverse. And again, the longer it goes on, the worse the chance. That's supposed to be a permanent surgery. I don't know why you would ever defend such an insane fucking position.
I don't know why you keep saying, like, you can undo a vasectomy.
It's that one point.
Sometimes.
It's that one point that has you tripped out. Remember, dude,
But it
that
says
thing-
avoid family creation. Like, we
At
get
the beginning stages, bro. Man,
Your
dude, that's
20s.
not a long term. It's
That's
a short term.
He said quickest way, which means short-term strategy to building your value up as quickly as possible. That's retard-proof. That's not going to get you in a
Look,
jam.
I'm not saying that you should have a kid when you're extremely young, but I am saying that we should be focused on becoming good fathers too. Just like we make fun of girls for prioritizing their careers and wanting to be girl bosses and wanting to build an empire, they're not prioritizing motherhood immediately. And then we're saying, men, ignore family creation, get a vasectomy so you can focus on getting rich, and then you'll be 40, you'll have all these hoes and girls, and then start a family. Like, how are we building men to become good fathers if they've been only prioritizing success, if they have a dick surgery? How do they have the character that's going to lead a proper family?
So you're saying
Oh, true. He's actually gotten, I don't know if he's found like a new conservative figure to model himself after, or if he's watching a lot of Ben Shapiro, but now he's making actual conservative arguments and not this cringe fucking red pill shit.
because they've dealt with a
I feel
bunch
like
of
that's-
hoes first,
Yeah,
so
no.
they know what a good
hold
woman
on.
is.
So you're saying us as men, when we're young, should have kids early, right?
No.
No,
he didn't
no,
say
that's not
that.
what he said.
I didn't say that.
No, but what's the priority then?
Look,
Family or
it
success?
doesn't mean that you need to have kids young, but it shouldn't be avoid family creation in your head. That's an important thing to think about when you're young too. How am I going to have the character? How am I going to have the maturity, the responsibility to become a good father when I am ready to do it?
So what age should men have kids then?
I would say
25, 30?
early 30s is probably ideal.
30s?
Yeah, I would say like early 30s, mid 30s.
See, you just proved that point. That list is for people in their 20s. Not in their 30s.
Well, there you go. You have a vasectomy, you can't have kids in your early 30s. That's the point of the surgery.
No.
You can maybe reverse it, but you can't have, like, that's what that surgery does, permanent.
So all in my 20s, what should I be doing?
You should be working on your character. You should be working on your maturity. You should be getting closer to God. A lot of the things that we're praising the women for to become a good mother, that's important things for men to focus on too.
I work on character.
I didn't say be broke. It's equally important to work on your finances. Women aren't going to say that, of course. I'm telling guys, you should get rich as possible too. But you should also be working on like building your character and looking at how I'm going to raise my kids and how I'm going to be a good father. If you're 40 and you have all these hoes and you have experience with hoes, is that going to make you a better father? Probably not. You'll just know how to avoid a bad woman. But it's not that you don't need to fuck 100 women to realize what a hoe is. A hoe is a girl. You look at her Instagram, you know she's a hoe or not. You don't need to get all these women in order to understand that.
No, you don't.
Can I
Once again,
interject?
you need to be able to decipher from experience who's a hoe and who's not. We're just saying, look.
Do you think it's that hard to see who a hoe is?
Bro, come on. Really?
I like how he has no response to that. Like, it's not really that hard. Like, how many, you would never hear this from a conservative man. Like, yes, it was necessary for me to fuck many bitches for me to figure out which one was truly the loyal woman I was going to make my wife. Like, nobody says this. It's so stupid.
Overall, men should have a self-control when they're in their early 20s. Yes, by nature, like, you know, you're going to go be promiscuous and all of this, but you also can have if you're working to get closer to God, you will create a self-control within yourself to not be sexually, like, promiscuous and just having sex with everyone and get someone pregnant.
And
you could use a condom too.
Can I say too, I think what Sneako's also trying to explain is that when you have a culture that bashes Western women about how we're focusing on the wrong things when we're young, but then you praise men for perpetuating that culture, I think what Sneako's
Wait, hold on, wait, real quick.
Anyway.
Jesus.
Don't adhere to the same timeline that women do. Like, women have a finite amount of time to find a man. You know what I mean? Like, for you ladies that are in your mid 20s, 30s, etc., like, y'all need to like really rush and get pregnant and have a family. For us, bro, you can have kids until you're 40, 50, whatever it may be, and you might be a better dad at that age because you're more experienced. You have your money,
mature.
You can put your kids in private school versus putting them in public. You can really, your woman doesn't have to work, so she can stay and raise the kids. So I look at it like, okay, I might put off kids for 10 years, right? And I'm putting off the family, but I worked at it 10 years extra. Now my wife don't got to work. Ooh. Now my kids can go to private. Now my kids have a driver. Now we're in the best neighborhood. Now I don't got to worry about shit. So is it worth it to have a family younger when I could have acquired more status and resources to give the children a better life?
Ladies,
I would say that 10 years is worth it because as a man, that you're not on that time clock.
Ladies, real quick, what do you prefer? Having kids early on with your high school sweetheart, or having kids later on with someone that's successful and can take care of you and the family? What do you prefer?
Later on.
What do you prefer?
Later.
Definitely later.
Later.
On the between like now and 30s, like 27.
So in
30s.
between.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think later, but also really depends on like where the man is too. Like.
So you want kids now?
No, but that's because also I can't talk. Like, it's not like there's a man in my life where I've met someone and I'm like, oh, I could have a kid.
What if you did? You want kids right now? Be honest. Don't cap. I'm watching you right now.
Me, I'm not in the position. I
Okay.
have other things.
What about you?
I would say later.
Later?
With the right person, maybe soon.
For you?
Later.
For you?
Later.
For you?
Oh. Well, I basically waited till later. So
yeah,
later.
No.
But I don't think he's explaining like to have it at a young age. Like, I think he's explaining that it's just to have a family. I mean, it depends also what you guys consider of like what is being rich, what is being successful, having money. I mean, you could be a middle class man, find a good woman, and have a family. You know.
Middle class is pretty much gone. Yeah. Nowadays is the have or have nots. But what about you?
Later.
So ultimately, Sneako, you can see here on the panel, women prefer a mature, successful man that can take care of the family, not just someone that's going to be
late. I feel like I would just go crazy on these shows anyway. Later doesn't mean 40 fucking years old, dude. Like, it's like, what would you rather have a kid with? Like at 19 with your high school sweetheart, or with a guy who's 45? Like, there are plenty of like exit ramps in the middle. Like, Jesus Christ, dude.
Character build and what's the other one you said? More mature.
Good father.
So, just saying.
Talk to a lot of fathers who at a certain point they're like, yeah, there's no reason why I shouldn't have had kids earlier. It actually like makes you become a better provider. You become more mature sooner. I see a lot of benefits to having kids young that isn't advocated. And I understand, like, you don't want to have kids with the wrong person, but it will build you as a man from what people tell me more than anything else. Like, it gives you more responsibility. It gives you a bigger purpose in life. It's going to give you that extra motivation that...
I better see with a kid next year, nigga.
Facts. And I would argue, how many dads are deadbeats?
Yeah, a lot of them.
Many. So that point is mute because, bro, once again, that can be a possibility. But is it a probability? Is it really gonna happen? Who knows? It's up to fate. I'm just saying, personally speaking, your odds are better off.
Yeah, but the odds that
Jane, I don't know why you're writing this in chat. Oh, dude, my temper's so short today. Post it in response to the subreddit. Do you think I'm watching chat and saving everything? Just post it in the subreddit. Okay, it's okay. I should have just finished these before I went live. I think my brain is in too many areas right now.
19,000 people watching are going to become high-value men. It's as equal as they're going to become successful fathers. We say you need to become a high-value man. Why don't we say you should also become a high-value father?
Right.
Because you become a high-value father from conquering other things, so that when you come home, your son looks at you as the hero.
You don't think you could conquer and raise a kid at the same time?
What's that?
You can't conquer and have kids at the same time? Why not? Why do you need to go conquer the world before you have kids? Why can't the two?
Because it becomes very difficult for you to conquer the world while simultaneously being the best father. I think it's best to become that superhero, build it, then have the children, and they look up to you. So when your kid walks into a room, he's like, "Oh, you're such and such son." I look at it like that. Like, fuck, your kid shouldn't even be looking at like superheroes or athletes. They should be like, "I want to be like my fucking dad." Like, that's how I look at it. And for you to be that guy, you have to build it first, man. It takes decades.
I mean, I thought of my dad as a superhero my whole time growing up, and he wasn't like high value, like extreme status with a bunch of Lamborghinis.
Hold on, I'm so curious. If I asked this question and Sneako gave me an opposite answer, I feel like there was a time when I was on this show, or was it a different time, when I was asking people, hey, I thought it was at this table, I was like, hey, do you guys respect your dads? Were your dads like the super rich, high value men? I thought that all of them said, yeah, my dad was blah, blah, blah. Am I making this up? Does anybody remember me asking this question? Did I ask this question? I feel like I was either on this show or it might have been another show where I was like, you guys always talk about like all these things that you like think dad should be like rich and blah, blah, blah. Well, what were your dads like? Were your dads all like this? I thought I asked this question. And I thought that everybody was like, oh no, like my dad is exactly like what I'm describing. But maybe it wasn't this show. I don't know.
And it takes decades.
It was in a conversation one-on-one. Maybe it was.
I mean, I thought of my dad as a superhero my whole time growing up, and he wasn't like high value, like extreme status with a bunch of Lamborghinis. He works a normal job, but I always looked up at him as a superhero because of like how he was in the home and how he was raising us. You don't have to be a conqueror to think of like to admire your dad and respect your dad. A lot of it is about the character and the way that they raise you. That was the most important thing. I always saw him as a superhero, but he didn't conquer the world.
Sneako said in a Rumble chat to add him on call. I'm in my Discord room. He can just join. Why is everybody so bad at using messaging apps? Whoa! Okay. Email, tax, boom, boom, fucker. Some of my fans want my name in orange. It's easier to see what I'm saying in VODs when I'm chatting. Pisco, kill yourself. Boom, boom. What is this? Okay. Boom, boom, boom. No. Hello, who joined? Oh.
Yo, why are you so frustrated, man? You seem really...
I just have I need to fucking make a clone of myself because there's just so much shit that I have to do. It's like email, projects, messages, travel, debates. There's just like a million things I need to do. The streaming is not good to do when you've got a million other things to do because it just eats up so many hours of the day. Like I should just like cut like 2 days of streaming on my schedule. Sorry, I'm just like I shouldn't have started my stream before like finishing all my emails and everything. And then people in chat keep crying that YouTube is lagging, and then they're saying, "Oh, you're lagging." But it's not me lagging. It's like part of the EU YouTube servers are lagging. So I killed my YouTube stream because I'm tired of them crying about it lagging. And now they're like, "Oh, why didn't you stream on YouTube?" And now that's it. That's my morning. How are you doing today, buddy? Where you at?
You know, Islam fixes all these problems that you're having right now. You need more stoicism.
Which pillar of Islam is it that helps me with fucking unruly chatters?
All 5 of them. 5 prayers a day will keep you more grounded. I don't understand. Just don't stream this early in the day. Do your emails, get your work done, chug your Red Bulls later. You're too ADHD. You remind me of when I was gaming.
Oh, yeah? Can you
See,
you guys
now
gotta
you sound
stop
better.
the cringe gaming shit. I don't know where this part of the Red Pill shit came from, but I noticed it's like the new talking point. I don't know if you guys like all meet somewhere to get like your new like marching
No,
orders
that
from
has
whoever.
nothing to do with Red Pill, but
No,
the way you
is.
sound
It's
right now,
every-
like, oh my god, I need a email. Shit, like that's how I was raging at my Call of Duty lobby chats back when I was like 15. I'm not saying that it's some blue pill, red pill shit, but just that you're camping noob.
Okay, I don't know what it has to do with gaming. I just have a lot of tasks right now. But what's up? Where you at? Where you at in the world right now?
I am in Miami. I'm back.
Oh, cool. How's your?
Yeah, this was last night.
The last night you're in Miami, or the last night?
No.
This
The show
Fresh
that you're
was
watching
last
right
night.
now.
Oh,
Yeah,
good
yeah.
job. I see you're starting to make your way through the world of TradCon. How's that going?
Is that really a TradCon saying that you shouldn't get a vasectomy? I don't understand why that was the response. Like, are we that doomer on the red pill side that getting a vasectomy is the solution to feminism? I just think that's a huge cope and terrible advice.
Well, it's not that. Hi. Sorry, people just walked in. Okay, let me just.
What?
Nothing. I just like a million things going on today. It's all good.
What are you doing?
Nothing. I'm talking to my good friend Sneako. Okay, my good Muslim friend. Okay, okay.
No. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. Okay. My main problem with the red pill shit is that it's a lot of it is inherently contradictory and garbage and trash or whatever. TradCon stuff I don't like, but it's at least like internally consistent. So when you're talking about why are you just sitting here staring at me? Can I help you with something?
I'm just being a viewer.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
What you
all
want,
right, I love you. Yeah, that's totally fine. I don't know if you're waiting on something.
No, I'm just viewing it.
Yeah, so like the TradCon guys have a very weird or adversarial relationships with like women and families and stuff, and it's very strange because like a lot of TradCon people will talk about the importance of being a high value man and all this stuff, and now you have like Rolo putting out this tweet like chop your up so that you can't have kids, and it's like, what the f are you guys talking about? Vasectomy reversal rate is like 30%. If you tell 100% of your audience to cut their up so that they can like I guess be high value, then literally you're destroying 70% of the gene pool of the people that are following you. It's just like an indefensibly crazy take. So it's just, I mean, when I say
calling me TradCon for that is just a weird position. Like, you could still be red pilled. It doesn't mean you need to agree with everything. Like, you need to marry when you're a virgin, or that you need to get married to have kids. All this, like, I understand that there's different circumstances, and I don't recommend people getting married within the government anymore, where legally I think it's a terrible idea. But saying that I'm against vasectomies makes me a TradCon, Steven Crowder, Daily Wire supporter. That's just like a weird position.
Well, I'm not using like TradCon as like an insult. I just mean that your views are shifting a bit more towards the like traditional conservative side versus like the red pill side. Like before,
I've always said that I wanted kids. I've always said it's never shifted.
It's not just one thing. It was before when you were arguing too that like the idea of being a high value man isn't flexing your watch and your muscles and your YouTube clout to people, because the only people that care about that are generally other men, and women are looking for a little bit more in relationships than just like the most clouded up, like expensive wristwatch wearing guy, which is like a more TradCon.
If you finish watching the stream, I asked the girls, because I was curious about that same thing you just said. I asked them, like, what do you think a high value man is? And they said things like character, personality, your traits, honesty, ambition. They said all like the wholesome traits. But then as the show went on, we found out that all the girls wanted to date somebody or be with somebody who's 5 to 10 years older than them. They all wanted a rich guy, and a lot of the girls were afraid of being called gold diggers because they wanted to be with rich people. So they'll have this like surface level idea about like what a high value man is. It's all about your character, your personality, your ambition. But what gets you in the door first is you're not even considered, like, they don't even care about your ambitions or your dreams and goals if you're not rich and successful and 6 feet, whatever, like all the other criteria that's important to them.
Sure. So here's like a couple things, okay? And take it or leave it, and keep talking to people and figuring out what your truth is or whatever. But in my opinion, one, everybody's got a floor to get in on, right? Like a woman who weighs like 500 pounds is not getting in the door with very many men, right? Much the same, a guy that's like 5'4", acne face, like doesn't work and lives with his mom is also probably not getting in the door with a lot of women. I think that people think that women's standards are way higher just to get in the door than they actually are, because the only place that people are meeting women are on Tinder. And on Tinder, it's 5 to 1 men to women. So of course the women's standards are going to be through the roof, because like you're like hardcore competing with a lot of other guys there. But when you're in warmer spaces, like when you're talking to employees, when you're at schools, when you're in like areas where there's like a lot of guys and girls mixed together, like those standards go way down. You know, when a girl's saying like, oh, well, I want to be with a wealthy guy, there are so many girls, and if you've been talking to more, you'll have met some, and you'll have met some successful women that are with brokey losers. These women are plentiful. They exist and they're out there.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of the red pill stuff is too doomer about how women are and thinks that all women want a super big millionaire and that you need a blue check and you need to have tons of clout. But in my experience, it hasn't been that at all. It's been that women care more about character and they really want to see what you're like as a person, and the surface level stuff. Like, yeah, of course it's attractive, but if you're like a weird schizo, like autist, then you're not, if you don't know how to if you don't have any charisma, if you don't know how to speak to her, if you don't have like a good character, that she's going to be unattracted immediately. That thing that women only care about your money or your Lamborghini, I haven't experienced that whatsoever. So that's just where I disagree with a lot of stuff. And they called like the guy Rolo like the godfather of the red pill, and he's just saying avoid family creation as one of the 3 steps to become a high value man. But I'm like, that just made me realize like what is our idea of a high value man? Like because overall, a high value man is somebody who's happy, is somebody who is successful in every realm of life. And what I think everybody could agree on is that the family is the happiest state a person could be in. That would be the highest values if you are a happy person. Like at a certain level, like you're just 60 with a bunch of cars. Like who cares if you're high value? What really matters is happiness.
Yeah, to some extent, or at the very least, like choose a realm and go for happiness there. But like you can't have it all. Like when they're saying things like if you want to be a truly high value man that has like a family, wait until you're 45 to have kids. It's like, well, if you want to be really successful in business and you want to forgo the family route, that's fine. But you can't pretend like you can do that. And then at 45, you're all of a sudden you're going to switch gears to family mode, right? You probably have to make these decisions earlier in life, or if you want to go for a family, or if you want to be, just like a ruthless, successful businessman.
How do you think I was approached this debate? What do you think about? I did actually realize, like while I was mid debate here, that I picked up some tactics from debating you, like trying to pin questions, like trying to get somebody to answer a specific yes or no question is a very Destiny debate tactic. Like I was asking Fresh and Myron specifically, like yes or no, do you agree? Should you give the advice out that men should get vasectomies? And they kind of like were fence sitting about that, which is ironic because we're very critical about like reaction channels and people who fence it all the time, but they were fence sitting a very specific question there. And I think that does expose where they stand or where their values are.
Yeah, because you realize it's a crazy proposition, right? Like you're essentially on the other end of the like girl power movement. If you're telling like men like, yeah, like go get your dick surgery so that you don't get people pregnant. It's like a wild statement to make, I think. Yeah.
Okay, so do you think that where do you think TradCon starts and Red Pill ends?
The problem is I don't even know what like Red Pill means, because it feels like where a lot of these Red Pill communities exist now is like so much farther away from where they started even like 2 or 3 years ago. Like I feel like when I listen, as much as I don't like them, and think they're sex traffickers, when I listen to Tristan and Andrew talk about women, it sounds like they understand women really well. They'll tell you strategies and techniques to like seduce women, or how to get women to like you, or how to court a woman, or how to fuck women. And it feels like when they're talking, it feels like they understand the game really, really well. Like if Tristan or Andrew walked into any area, they could pick up any chick they want, or almost. That's what it feels like. For a lot of these Red Pill guys, I don't think they could, because it doesn't sound like they're giving even good advice to just women. It sounds like they're giving advice to maybe attract a hyper-specific type of like wannabe sugar baby in Miami. Like that's what it feels like a lot of the advice is a lot of the times. I don't know. Do you know Darius and Zerka from my streams?
Oh.
Do you say no or yes? Sorry.
No, I don't know.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Like these guys are like kind of, I don't want to call them losers. You know John Zerka, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They're not like losers, but they're not like the most successful people. And they got a lot of weird shit going on, but they're super funny. They're really charismatic. And if you put them in a room with girls, they're going to be fucking, because they are. They have like the game for it. They've got like the character for it. Kind of like the old pickup artist community would say, that like game is more important than just like wealth or status or anything else. So when you ask me like, yeah, where does Red Pill stop and like TradCon begin? It's hard to say, because the Red Pill stuff as it exists today is like just going in such an insane direction. I just can't believe that like so many people would be uncritically amplifying the idea that men in their 20s should all be getting vasectomies. That's just an insane statement to make. I don't know who could like. There's no way that Andrew and Tristan agree with that, right? Or I don't know if you've talked to them about it. There's no way that they
advocate towards fatherhood all the time.
Yeah.
Tristan told me that he wishes that he had kids younger when he was like around my age. When he was 24, there was no reason. Mm-hmm. I talked to a lot of people who have had kids like around your age, and they said that it didn't like prevent you from being able to do whatever you want to do. And even like you look at the guys who are saying get a vasectomy, and avoid family? Like, what are you really doing in your 20s and 30s that's better than raising children?
Sure.
Like, what part of your lifestyle is better than raising kids? Because I can't see anything that's better than that. It's like you're networking, I guess. You get the car, but that's not fulfilling.
I mean, it depends. I mean, like, there are things that are fulfilling in life beyond raising kids. I think that's one of the big, there's a whole other conversation topic. One of the really big challenges today for like repopulation, why birth rates have fallen, is because there are a lot of things that are really fun in life to pursue that aren't necessarily having children, and women can pursue that too. So it's a very hard buy for a lot of people, or a hard sell for a lot of people, to say, put your career, your life on hold to have kids. Because like, having kids is awesome, raising families is awesome, and all of that stuff is cool. And I think most people that do it don't regret it. But also, traveling a lot is really cool. Traveling the world, building businesses, networking, making friends, going out and having a ton of fun without the responsibilities of necessarily having a child tying you down is also like super fun. So I mean, like, there's definitely like legitimate arguments on both sides. That's why I think people are trying to balance it, like maybe have a kid in your like late 20s, or maybe when you're like 30, 31, instead of like having a kid when you're 20, because women that have kids that are 20 they're missing out on like a whole chunk of potential life, which could be okay if you want to raise kids earlier, but that's just like, it's a tough decision that you kind of have to make, somewhere early on in life. I
just see that as the only solution to the decline of the West. And I also, what I realize on this show is how I disagree with the mentality that you need to sleep with a bunch of feminist women and you need to go and engage in a lot of like promiscuous sex in order to understand female nature. I don't think you need to do that. I don't think it's that necessary, especially because if you don't want to raise children with these women, like, why even, you're just engaging with them because you want to have, it's like an ego stroke. You want to be able to like,
you just want to fuck because you want to fuck. Yeah. Saying that like, well, you need to all the slutties to figure out the good women, like, that's retarded. Like, you can figure that out without way through a ton of women.
It's not that hard. You could watch one of these shows or just look at a girl's Instagram and figure out, like, do you want to raise children with her? If the answer is no, then you are wasting your time by having sex with her. Mm-hmm. That's ultimately a waste of time.
Sure.
Do you think that the West is declining?
That's a complicated question. Depends on what we mean by declining. Like, technologically, medically, and everything, probably not. In terms of world influence, I don't think so, although there are fights right now. I mean, birth rates are declining, but that's true of literally like every single industrialized country around the world.
Yeah.
I mean, like, the problem is when people say the West is declining, it's usually framed around like LGBT stuff. So I don't know. I mean, I personally don't think it is, but...
As a world power, I think that's the best metric. Do you think that the United States, for example, do you think that their position as the number one world power is going to collapse in the next 10 years?
Absolutely not. I would put a lot of money with big odds on that. Absolutely not. No shot.
Why do you say that?
Because it's not. We're culturally, we own the world culturally. Economically, we still own the world. In terms of like global sphere of influence that's backed up by the U.S. military, we still own the world. In terms of like directing other countries, like we're on top of that 100%. Yeah. And other countries are still having like huge growing pains they're going to have to go through. Russia is a mess right now, regardless of what Ryan Dawson or other people may think. Russia is in huge trouble right now. China is still having a whole bunch of growing pains in terms of figuring out how to direct their government as their people gain more money and they want more autonomy, and them trying to figure out like Hong Kong and Taiwan. Like, there's a lot of confusion there. Like, we have issues in the West. A lot of the times, I think... have you ever heard do you ever watch the Batman movie, The Dark Knight Rises, and Bane is like, victory has defeated you? Do you remember that? In some ways in the West, like, that's kind of like where we're at right now, where people are like, the West is declining, and it's like, why? And it's because we've ran out of a lot of problems to tackle, so now we like complain about trans people all day. Like, in some ways, I think it's like a product of our success that like the most important thing that we seem to be obsessed with right now are LGBT issues, because we don't have to worry about like a middle class that's starving to death, or we don't have to worry about like being sanctioned from the entire world, or we don't have to worry about holding onto territories that are, autonomous from us. Like, these are huge issues that like Russia and China and other countries have to worry about that we've largely moved past. Not to say we solve all of our problems, but I think that compared to other superpowers, I think we're doing pretty okay as the United States.
Yeah, we could argue about how much the LGBT and the trans influence is affecting the children and affecting schools, and how, like, the fact that 3% of high school women or high school girls think that they're trans now, how many Gen Z people are identifying as LGBT. You can see, I think, the future there. That proves that we're shifting in a different direction, but that's a conversation for another day. I just wanted to see, now you sound more calm. You were all like disgruntled and stuff like that and ADHD before. Aren't you better now?
Well, yeah, but that's because I just finished all my emails and everything, so my shit is calming down now.
I think it was because you were talking to a good Muslim and Allah was feeding onto you.
Oh, yeah? If I was a real dick, you know what I'd do right now? I'd tell you to turn your webcam, and then I'd tell you to point to Mecca right now. Do you think you could do it?
Point east. Yeah, just point east.
Okay, remember that because I'm gonna be asking you that next time we're on camera together. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna get a compass. Bye.
Bye.